week? Who's coming up next week? Jason, with the mind of a steel trap, says.
Next week's guest will be Trinidad.
Oh, cool.
T. And Year of October.
Year of October. Now, I'm not sure. Who's this? Year of October.
They're on our station.
Yeah, but I don't
remember who they are
I don't remember the band name. I don't remember the people in the band. That's one of those things where we got them on, and I can't quite place them. We have so many artists on there. I got to get re-familiar with them. So Year of October. So our homework is listen to Year of October, find out who they are, and they'll be here next week. Awesome. So Jason, why don't you do the complimentary introduce our next artist?
We have the one and only Pez in the building. How you doing, Pez?
Oh, I'm doing well.
With his beautiful Ovation American guitar. Is that a certain model he made to that? They call that
It's a 2002 9/11 commemorative.
The 9/11. I thought
but its actual name is 1777-USA.
Okay, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So it's making a stand for America, and we like that. So, well, Pez, why don't you go ahead and pick a tune out and play it for us real quick, and we'll get to know you.
Well, why don't we start with the one that people know best?
Okay.
Well, they say that love is a splendid thing, and it brings all joy to your life. Yeah, it's all poetry, hearts and flowers, puppy dogs. Yeah, that's right. But they never tell you the little details that are hidden in the fine print. Now, if you want to know if your love is true, just listen, then sing along. Now, if you ain't thought of murder, you ain't been in love. If you haven't wanted to strangle your dearly beloved, 'cause all of us have our last nerve, and then if you ain't thought of murder, you ain't been in love. If you ain't thought of murder, you ain't been in love. Well, Alice, she married her high school sweetheart, and she loves him truly. But he's got a few little annoying habits that gotta be changed real soon. Then came the night where she sat down, but the seat, it wasn't there. And in that moment is when Alice decided that she'd sing along. Now, if you ain't thought of murder, you ain't been in love. If you haven't wanted to strangle your dearly beloved, 'cause all of us have our last nerve, and then if you ain't thought of murder, you ain't been in love. If you ain't thought of murder, you ain't been in love. Yeah. I almost messed up my own song. Now, Ralphie, he loves his wife truly, though she's a little bit needy. She wants to talk about their relationship and his feelings. Now, the last time she wanted to do that was during the Super Bowl game. And as Ralphie missed, well, that game went in play, he decided he'd sing along. Yeah, if you ain't thought of murder, you ain't been in love. If you haven't wanted to strangle your dearly beloved, 'cause all of us have our last nerve, and then if you ain't thought of murder, you ain't been in love. Yeah, you ain't thought of murder, you ain't been in love. Yeah, you ain't thought of murder, then you ain't been in love.
If If you ain't thought of murder, you ain't into love.
Nope.
My wife's thought of that many times.
I'm sure she has.
Must be in love.
Oh, I love doing it in front of live audiences where you see the couples just kind of grin at each other with this stupid look on their face like, yes, I've plotted your demise more than once.
I think I've actually had them try a couple times. Woke up with a pillow over my head, you know.
That's usually a sign that the relationship, the love has gone out of the relationship. It's when they try to smother you, yeah.
Yeah, when they hold the pillow down and don't release, there might be a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah.
It's okay for the occasional pillow fight, but
Either that or you're just into those kind of things. I don't know.
You
Some
have,
people are.
you have one of those dreams where you can't breathe and you wake up and realize there's a pillow over your face? So, Pez, since the last time you were here, I don't know if you were here after we got syndicated or not, but let's go ahead and start from the beginning. Where are you from?
Originally Hartford, Connecticut. It's a terrible place filled with awful people who do the worst things. You can see I love my hometown.
I can tell. Yes, I can tell.
And I've been down here for pretty much since 2013.
Writing songs and having a good time.
Yep. Kicking around Nashville. Every now and then pinching myself going, wow, this really is real.
Now, you've been on Nashville a couple times.
The TV show, yes. I've actually, I forgot how many there was, but season 3, 4, and 5. So I've been in various things. My best role was homeless guy in episode
Homeless.
316. Yeah, I'm the only non-cast member in the scene, so you can't miss me. And everybody remembers the scene is because when the mayor got blackmailed by the call girl underneath the bridge.
I got you.
Pivotal plot twist, so they remember that.
Right.
you've been working really hard since you've been in Nashville. And I believe the last time I saw you, you were on air with me and Randy. You sat in with us, and you brought a friend with you one day that was actually our guest, Sam Tate. And
Yeah, Sam's a friend.
And I know you, tend to play a lot of different venues there, Douglas Corner and the Commodore. But I know you've rubbed shoulders since you've been in Nashville with some fairly famous people. You've kindly
Like
made
the
a
Hillbilly
name,
Heartthrob.
for yourself.
Yeah, it's been interesting. You kind of get accepted in there, and you realize, you're playing a songwriter around, and you put it together. And one of the guys wrote the song, was a co-writer on the song "Woman, Woman," and the other guy on the stage was a writer of the Bluegrass Song of the Year in 2015. It was Lizard Tom Case, and they accepted your invitation to play with you. I mean, it's an amazing feeling.
So far, since you've been in Nashville, what would you say was your highlight as a songwriter?
Riding with the Hillbilly Heartthrob.
Self-promotion over here. You just have to watch out. He can't help it.
It would be hard to pick one out. I mean, when you get an audience, and sometimes when you're playing writers' rounds around Nashville, you can get a lot of jaded songwriters sitting there, and they've already heard your stuff. You've already heard their stuff. It's good, but you don't realize the audience reaction. Then every now and then you'll get to play someplace that isn't filled with jaded songwriters, or it happens to be a lot of tourists at the hotel that weekend. And you get people that are, so to speak, civilians hearing it for the first time, and watching their reactions is always fun. Makes you appreciate, where you actually are.
Now, what's one of your favorite places to play?
Hands down, probably my favorite place is Commodore. The Commodore
It's a great
Grill.
venue, it really is.
It is, and the two people that host it, Debbie Champion and Rick Stewart, are just great people, and they get some incredible people out to play
I agree.
at those places. I mean, literally, and you can go see a Hall of Fame songwriter there for free, no cover charge. So that's it definitely makes for an interesting place to mix, and it's probably one of the best networking rooms in Nashville in terms of if you want to get to know people.
Now, what about inspiration for songs? Where do you get your inspiration?
I have a very strange life.
Good point. Good point.
I'm the guy that walks around with the interesting story, and almost all of them are true.
That's true.
It's like I got here thanks to an arsonist who was taking revenge on somebody else, is how I ended up getting to Nashville permanently. Thank you, arsonist. But
And now you're here.
and yeah, what am I doing here?
He fled the psych ward, and
A little club medication.
Think of how boring life would be without me, though.
that's true. It would be boring.
Yeah. So club medication. Okay. The hospital with the arms that tie in the back.
Right.
So you mentioned that you like plots. I kind of can tell, a little bit about your personality. And I know we had spoke once in the past that you were working on putting together something about the Grand Ole Opry and the history of the Grand Ole Opry and who actually came up with that concept, which I thought that was very fascinating.
Well, I'm kind of looking at trying to put together a biopic about the first person to go from a nobody to an Opry star. His name is D. Ford Bailey, and it surprises most people because he's an African-American harmonica player. And he was the 6th member of the Grand Ole Opry, and he was on officially as a member from 26 to 1941, and he kind of got hosed over during the ASCAP boycott of 1941, where the whole radio industry wouldn't play 1.25 million songs that were licensed to ASCAP writers. So he couldn't perform. That's and actually that changed the music industry. Speaking of Glenn Campbell earlier, one of the things that he got really famous for was playing the William Tell Overture. The reason why that ended up being the Lone Ranger theme is because it was in the public domain, and you could only put on the radio public domain or a BMI song. That was it. That's how they chose that, and they actually had a theme song written for it. But it completely changed the music industry that 10 months. In fact, the federal government's finally the ones that settled it. But anyway, I'd like to get together a biopic on it and see, because his life was just fascinating. And it remained fascinating his whole time. Like, his son had a band. His guitar player was Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
You know?
Do you have a new favorite song of yours currently?
A new favorite song. Oh, I've got something new that's really new. Hopefully I can get through it and not mess it up. When I moved south, I knew I'd have to learn like new words, phrases, and expressions and things like that. And I thought it would be things like, bless your heart. Yeah. Because now I know what that means. Not necessarily a good thing. I didn't think polyamory would be one of the words I needed to learn.
I'm not even sure what that is.
Yeah, everybody's Googling right now to find out what it is. It translates into many loves. At the same time.
Like I've been there once.
You might have been. No, a lot of people have been that place. Except usually they're not all agreeing about it. Yeah. But let's see if I can get through this without keeping a straight face now. Okay. Well, I met you at the fairgrounds on that faithful night. Your friends had left you high and dry. You were stuck for a ride. I said, I got a car, won't you come inside? Where you going? She smiled and said, Jolton. Well, that ride home turned into 7 nights. I fell deep in love with you. Oh, that's right. But then you told me about your lifestyle and your polyamory. Now I've got them Cheatham County blues. I love you from your hair down to your shoes. But for one you can't be true. Got them Cheatham County blues. Then you started telling me about your 2 girlfriends and your other boyfriend too. All I could think was that green-eyed monster coming through. And I got them Cheatham County blues. Love you from your hair down to your shoes. But for one you can't be true. Got them Cheatham County blues. And then you looked deep in my eyes and told me, well, you can have other girlfriends too. No more Cheatham County blues. Love you from your hair down to your shoes. And for love we can have a few. No more Cheatham County blues. No more Cheatham County blues. Love you from your hair down to your shoes. And for loves we'll have a few. No more Cheatham County